R. Yep.
Okay. We're holding here in Siman Shin Daled Mem Sfif Tezayin.
Yep.
I think that's where we left off last week, right? Sfif
Yep.
Tezayin?
Yeah.
Okay, it says the Mechaber, Ein Oimrim B'fnei HaMeis, we don't say in front of the mace, Ela Dvorim Shel Mace, only things that have shaykhis to the mace himself, things that are necessary for his kvura, the hesped, and the hesped, avashar kol davar, asr. Everything else is asr to say in front of the mace. We'll see what the front means. Pashas from the Lashon HaMechaber is mashma, that the front of the mace means anywhere, even out of Dalar Amis, anywhere in front of the mace, it's also to speak anything besides Sarche Kurasai or a hesped on the mace. Mili, one is that talking about B'divrei Torah. Ava b'mili de alma leslan ba. But if you're talking about stam things that are nothing to do with Torah, then there's no problem. Why? Because that the mace doesn't really care about. He only cares about Divrei Torah because that's what he wants. After a person dies, he realizes what the truth is, and he realizes the only thing that's really negeya is Divrei Torah. So that's the only thing that bothers the mace after he dies. Therefore, you're not allowed to talk Divrei Torah unless it's Sarche Kuvrasai or a hesped for the mace.
It's also an Indian of Loig Larash, right?
Yeah. Loig Larash means because he wants to do it and he can't.
Right, he can't. Right.
But if it's Mili de Alma, there's no Loig Larash, he doesn't care about it.
Right.
Okay, Sif cutting your Aleph in the Shach. Ein Oimrim Mashma das HaMechaber de Divrei Torah afilu chutz l'Dalar Amis aser. Divrei Torah, which is the Mechaber is talking about that it's aser unless it's Sarche Kuvurasa and Hesped, even out of Dalar Amis is aser, as long as the mace you could see the mace. Umili de Alma and anything else, afilu toich Dalar Amis shari, even within Dalar Amis is mutter. That's what's mashma from the Mechaber. Habach Pasak, the Bach Paskin, the Divrei Torah aser afilu chutz Dalar Amis. Even out of Dalar Amis, Divrei Torah is aser, which is the way the Mechaber paskins. But he adds on a Mili de Alma Eine aser ela toich Dalar Amis. Mili de Alma, he does aser within Dalar Amis. So the Bach is machmir, and he says you can't speak Mili de Alma within Dalar Amis of the mace, not just Divrei Torah. Anything you're not allowed to speak within Dalar Amis of the mace. If it's Vod of Shal Mace, mutter, if it's something to do with the mace, if I had to bury him or anything like that, I fill it with Divrei Torah, it's mutter, I fill it Teich Dalar Amis. V'chein nohagu, lidrosh ba'agodois u'psukim, I fill it Teich Dalar Amis b'fnei ha-mace. We dash in things, Divrei Torah, even Dalar Amis of the mace, v'yotzim me'inyin le'inyin ad shemegin le'saper b'shvachav shal mace, me'esik te'rasai v'chasidusai, you don't have to speak only about the mace, Divrei Torah. You say Divrei Torah, which leads you into speaking about the mace. If you look in the Taz, the Taz says, "L'chvoit ha-mace, sasif kan hey, l'chol she'ein l'chvoit ha-mace, vadai aser." Anything you're not doing it to cover of the mace is aser. V'loi ki yesh ha-mechavnen lahares ma'alosa medrush. Some people get up to the give a hesped, and they just want to show how great they are in drush. They speak about it by the mace. There's no shaykhs to the mace. The lav shaprika of the, and that's not good. V'shamati harbe gedolim hayimakpidim al davar zeh. So you see, the Taz says, even though the shach brings down from the Bach, they could start speaking something that has no shaykhs to the mace. That's only if you're using that to lead into the speak about the mila of the mace. But to speak about something that has no shaykhs to the mace, just to show that you're a good baldarshan, Taz says it's not a time for that now by a spadim. By a spadim is not a time to show how you know how to darshan. Leave it for a different time. If you look in back to the shach ends off here, because of Mordechai. We saw this last week. The whole cheder that the mace is inside, choshev gedal amais, chen pasav abach v'ayin lechamon tzimah shin samach vav. So any place where the mace, the dalet amis in the room where the mace is in, is called dalet amis. So it come out according to the Mordechai that the whole room that the mace is in is called dalet amis. And if you have the bach, that even Mili the Alma is also to speak in front of the mace, in dalet amis of the mace. So it come out a big chumrah over here. That in the room of the mace, it's also to speak Mili the Alma. That's what will come out. You put these two together, the Shach in the beginning brings down from the Bach that Mili the Alma is also within Dalet Amas of the mace. The Mordechai says over here that the whole room is considered Dalet Amas of the mace. Therefore, it would come out that Mili the Alma is also within the room where the mace is. So anytime a mace is in the room, you're not allowed to speak anything. Only things that have shaykhs about to the mace or about the mace. That's a chumrah. A lot of places are makel. They say if you can be machma like the Bach, the Mili the Alma is also the Mechaber Paskins. The Mili the Alma is mutter. The Bach is the one that's machmer by Mili the Alma. So if you can paskin like the Bach and you can be machmer, you don't have to go ahead and put a chumrah, a gav chumrah, and to bring the Mordechai also who holds that the whole Dalet Amis, the whole room is considered Dalet Amis. As they write, you don't have to do. So anytime it comes to a funeral, they bring the mace into the room. We said last week that shalom you shouldn't give, because that every shalom is also b'fnei mace. So we have a split over here. Shalom, which everyone agrees, and now that I ask somebody how they're doing in front of the mace, within Dalet Amis, will have the chumrah of the Mordechai that the whole room is considered Dalet Amis. But Mili the Alma, to speak about something else, which is only according to the Bach, the Mechaber says first it's mutter. There we don't have to come on to the chumrah. We don't have to use. We don't have to be machmir with the chumrah of the Mordechai that it's usher because it's only a chumrah of the Bach. That would be a kula. Well, the Maisa, it's better when a mace comes into the room in a funeral home that everyone should be quiet anyway. Let's cover a mace. I think in most places they're makbid that when the mace comes in, everyone's quiet. But it's a good point to know that if you're smoothing about the mace, you're saying milas about the mace, that you could do. That everyone agrees you could do. Because it says it's Varam Shal mace is mutter. So we're talking about how good the mace was, or milas about the mace, that you could do even after they bring the mace into the room.
And that's for the whole oilam, not just the one who's doing the hesped.
Correct, anybody. Correct. Okay, let's see the Levaita in the Taz. Because of Atur b'Shem of Haigoyin, Tafilu Chutz la'Arba Amos also b'Divrei Torah, which we saw before in the Shach. Even out of Dalet Amis, anytime you're in front of the mace, it's also. The Sefer Torah is Adam Kosev the Ein Minig v'Lei Derech Eretz lahaskir ameis achar shnayim also chodesh. You're not maspid a mace after 12 months. After 12 months, you first heard about it. Peturim hesped. There's no din hesped. Ein chodesh iber b'chlal. Shana rak yud beis chodesh. It says 12 months. It says you should forget about a mace after 12 months. So therefore, we're not maspid a mace after 12 months. Okay, talk to Mechaber weiter. Yud Zayin. Mutter leime psukim v'drash l'chvei the mace. Even though we just said you're not allowed to speak in front of the mace, but psukim and the drasha is mutter l'chvei the mace, but teich arba amoisav, or bebeis hakvaris, or in the basic forest, even teich arba amoisav, it is mutter. Okay, Yud Ches. The next few sifim are interesting sifim. Not so negayah today.
Sorry, Rabbi, the Yud Zayin is actually talking about the Shmirah, the time where they have Shmirah?
What do you mean? No, anytime.
Anytime, meaning because you're saying, they usually have Shmirah, with same Psukim, Tehillim, until the Hespedim, etc., this and that.
Yes, so Tehillim, it's an interesting question, because it says over here that you're not going to say Psukim and Drosha only l'chvei dameis. So how do we go ahead and in front of a mace, when we're being shown with the mace, we say Tehillim? So they speak about it. The Poskim do speak about this. And they say Tehillim is mutter. Because Tehillim is considered l'chvoid ha-mace. You're doing it to l'chvoid ha-mace. That's what they say. That's what they all ask it. It's a passion saying Tehillim is just to occupy your time. Why are you saying Tehillim for by the mace? Is davening for the mace?
It could be. I mean, you say
We don't find anywhere that Tehillim is a schooler for the mace, or it helps for the mace. Do we find it anywhere? Kaddish, we see.
We do. Well, listen, that's like when we actually go to the Batei Kvaros and we do the
What's the Tehillim? We daven by a cave. We daven for the mace. We daven for ourselves.
No, but we do a Tehillim. I mean, I would imagine it's also Le'ilui Nishmat. No, I mean, we do.
That's the question. The question is Tehillim is Ilui Nishmasa or not?
You do Tehillim according to the name of the mace.
Right.
So
that is only from Kuf Yutet.
Yeah, but the question is, you're doing that for what? When you go to the kever of the mace to daven, you're davening for what?
But when you use the name of the mace to pick the psukim of Tehillim that you use,
yeah, but the question where that comes from. All this stuff comes. That's a pashut that Tehillim is Ilui Nishmas for the mace.
No, but if you say pshat that the part of Tehillim is to, if you look at many of the kapitlos of Tehillim, it's about a reminder of the fragility of life and that it's, kechachlam yov and so on.
Right.
So when you're saying it's saying by the mace, it's also a reminder of,
Reminder to who? To you.
For us also, but there's that.
That's the mace. Mace is dead already.
To remind ourselves.
He's dead already. He doesn't need a reminder. He's dead already. He doesn't need a reminder.
No, but the schus that we are reminding ourselves is...
Yeah, that's the question. The question is that called Ilui Nishmasai?
Right.
Is saying Tehillim called Ilui Nishmasai or not? That's a shaila. That's a portion that's saying Tehillim. They don't say, the person would ask this question about Tehillim by the mace, they don't answer that Tehillim is Ilui Nishmasai. They don't say that. Let them say very simple. Tehillim is Ilui Nishmasai.
Yeah.
So is Rav appending all the stuff that we do at the Bet Kvarot?
No, I didn't say that.
We do. No. I'm saying is there
saying Tehillim, saying Mishnayos is Ilui Nishmasai. We find if someone's going to go ahead, right, and say instead of learning doing Mishnayos for the mace, let's do Tehillim for the mace. What would you say? Let's say it's getting hard, right? We make a siyum on Mishnayos. Everyone takes Mishnayos. I'm going to start a new thing. We're going to say Tehillim. Everyone should take Tehillim for the mace. You ever saw that? No. If you see that, what were you going to say? What are you doing here, right? That's not what we do. Why not? We don't find that Tehillim is Ilui Nishmasai. We find learning is Ilui Nishmasai. That's the question over here.
I think almost every funeral begins with Tehillim.
Yeah.
He's asking why.
Yeah, that's it. He started with Tehillim. It's lav dafka. It's for the Ilui Nishmas of the mace. There's a heter to say Tehillim. We give a heter to say Tehillim. Right? The ma'ayra, the olam, but Tehillim maybe. We don't find that the words of Tehillim are Ilui Nishmas of the mace. If someone does find that somewhere, Adrabah, I'd like to see it. I don't remember seeing that Tehillim is the Ilui Nishmas of the mace.
Interesting.
So
we don't find that on the yard side of a parent, it's brought out to sit down and say Tehillim. You find on the yard side of a parent, it's an Indian to learn Mishnayos. You find learning is Ilui Nishmasai.
In Sephardic, there is a very big tradition that on Shabbos you read the whole Tehillim just for the niftar. Because you cannot do anything else, you do the Tehillim, the full Tehillim.
When? Shabbos when?
In Mincha, between Mincha and Mariv.
So Shabbos what, on the yard side?
On the Shiva itself.
Oh, because they can't learn.
Yeah, they cannot learn, so they do Tehillim the whole...
That's what it means. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So on the day of the yard site, I have my father's yard site in 3 weeks. I should learn Mishnayos then on the yard site?
You're supposed to learn Mishnayos.
Right, because you can't say Kaddish now. I mean,
right. You should learn Mishnayos, 100%.
Okay, so if I learn a parak of Mishnah, that's...
Correct. I'll check it up again. If I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing this question about Tehillim by the mace. And no one says that you can learn Tehillim by the mace because Ilu Nishmasai. No one says that. Okay. Fine. Yud Ches. Chacham Shemeis. Chacham that dies base midrasha bottle. His base medrash where he learned his bottle. Why? Seif in Oisei called Shiva. The whole Shiva every day they give has spadim for this Chacham Shemeis. Avashah medrashos. The rest of the bottle medrashos in the city. Oiskim v'Torah. Afilu b'shas hesped. Even during the hesped, the other shuls, other bottle medrashim in the city could still be learning. V'achar hesped. After the hesped, in the besmedrash of this chacham where he learned, ein talmidav miskaptzim beis medrashay, and the miskabrim shnayim v'loylim b'vatayim. B'chitza, you cannot go ahead and learn in his besmedrash. His besmedrash has to be closed down. Second, sorry, I'll show my phone. His besmedrash has to be shut down for the whole shiva. The people who want to learn, they go home and they learn. A Siman of Avelus. Av bezdin shemeis, kol midrasha shebeir b'telim. All the bottom midrashim in the whole city, because he was the Av bezdin of the whole city. So therefore, to show Avelus, all the bottom midrashim in the city are closed down. V'regilim le'espalo b'beis hakneses, mishanim mekayim. Those who daven in the shul have to change their place. They can't daven in the regular place during the shiva. Nasi shemeis, a nasi of Klal Yisrael that dies, kol botei midrasha shebechol makayim shemaspidin oisai b'telim. Any place where they maspid him, it's bottle. V'achar a hesped, the same thing is after they finish the hesped in the morning, let's say, ein echnasan lebeis hamedrash, they don't go into the beis hamedrash, ele mischabrim shnayim, the people can get together with chavrusas and learn, v'leim dem b'teihem. V'chol b'nei ya'ir mispalim b'beis avel. Bein b'choil, bein b'Shabbos. All of the whole city gets together in the house of the Nasi, and they all daven in the base Avol. We close down all the shuls, and they daven in the house of the Nasi. Chutz mekriyas ha'Torah b'Shabbos v'sheni v'chamishi. Besides laning on Shabbos and Monday and Thursday, shakayim b'batei ha'knesiyos. You lane it in the batei knesiyos. V'lo yitaylu b'shuk. You shouldn't go out in the streets. Ela yeshvim mishpachos. The dovim call hayom. They sit mishpachos, and they dovim, and they're worrying the whole day because if the Nasi dies, it's a bad siman. Interesting that this is what we're going through right now. Not sure that no one's going to shul, everyone's sitting home. Okay, I have my own reasons for this. Because my Rebbe, the Novinsky was niftar, and he was a Nasi of Agudas Yisrael, so maybe that's what's happening now. We're in Kaim this halacha, but that's a personal feeling. I don't think everybody feels the same way. Okay, your test. Maspidim Talmidei Chachamim v'Nashosayim b'Beis HaKnesses. You could be maspid a Talmud Chacham and his wife in the Beis HaKnesses or Beis HaMedrash avaloi shar ha'am. Anybody else, you're not allowed to be maspid in a shul. So here's a whole shaila in Hilchos Beis HaKnesses that you're not going to use a shul for whatever you want. Today, unfortunately, we're not so makbid in shuls. We do all different types of things in shuls. But one of the things that matter in the shul is to be maspid a Talmud Chacham in the shul and his wife. Eishes chaver kechaver dami. She has the same chashivas as her husband. And therefore, you'll not be maspid them in the shul. Siv chaf, chacham v'aluf v'goyin. A chacham and an aluf is a head, a soldier, a general, a goyin. Machnisin oisla beis hamedrash. You bring him in to the beis medrash. Umanichin hamita b'mokim shahaya doirish. You bring the mita into beis medrash. V'seif in oisay sham. V'chishamatzin hamita. And when they take out the mita from the shul, seif in oisay, they give another hesped ad beis hakvaris. V'yem hazayin oilam lebeis hakvaris. On the seventh day, they go visit in the beis hakvaris. Umavakrin oisay v'chen b'yem hashleishim. Betachlis Yud Beis Chodesh. This is what we do for parents. The makar comes from here. That a chacham and a goyin, And in Aluf, what do they do for him? They maspid him constantly. On the 7th day, they go back to the Beis HaKfaris. On the Shloishim, they go back to the Beis HaKfaris. The Tachlis, Yud Beis Chodesh, and the finishing of 12 months, also they go back to the Beis HaKfaris. Mevakrin umashkivin oisai. What does mashkivin oisai mean? So if you look in the Be'er HaGoyli, it says, Pirish, oimrim haskara v'tfila ba'avurai. Yesh nusach tfila b'zeh v'kern oisai hashkava. There used to be some type of nusach hatfila, and at the end of Yud Beis Chodesh, they would say it, and it was called hashkava. Hashkava means to rest, to lie down. So therefore, at the end of 12 months, they go ahead and they say this nusach of hashkava. Okay, Siman hey. Didn't have ma'abed atzma ladas, someone who commits suicide. Ma'abed atzma means ma'abed means to lose it, to destroy himself. Ladas, with his mind, meaning he's doing it consciously, not by mistake. Umenuda by ruge bezdim by person menatzivah. Okay, says the Mechaber. I'm abed atzma ladas. Amos asking imay lechol davar. Somebody who committed suicide. Amos asking imay lechol davar. We're not busy with him at all. We don't do anything for him. Amos ablan Allah. There's no availers for him. We don't give him a hesped. We don't do kriya. And if you remember, we learned cholzin means they open the shoulder, right? They uncover the shoulder. Aval, but Aimdin Allah Bishura, from Aimdin Allah Bichas Avelim, you do stand Bishura, which is on the way out, after you bury him. And you say Bichas Avelim, V'chol Davar should cover the Chayim. So basically, this halacha is saying the klal is that someone is ma'abed atzmei ladas, someone who commits suicide, then for him, we don't do anything that's kvoid hameis. We don't give cover to such a mace. Anything that's kvoid hachayim, anything we're doing for the mourners, that we do. But kvoid hameis, we don't do. So let's see the.
So the mindset today, people do this physician-assisted suicide or whatever they call it. Is that this case? The physician-assisted deaths or whatever they call it. People are very sick.
Okay, so we'll see about that. We'll see soon. We'll see a Pesach Tshuva soon and see if Beis exactly what the level of committing suicide is. They have these halachas. We'll see soon that it's not so common to have it today. Most of the suicide that we have today, we'll see soon, is not included in this halacha. First, we have to know the halacha, and then we'll go to halacha l'maisa. But that's the halacha here. We get to this assisted, what's it called again?
Physician-assisted
suicide.
Medically assisted suicide.
There's a name for it. How are they called? Okay, whatever. It's a medical assisted suicide. Yeah, okay, we'll get to that soon. So let's see the shach here first. Why, if someone commits suicide, let's talk about a person, anything else. Person who's upset at something and he goes ahead and commits suicide. So why don't we give him cover? The chsiv as dimchem l'nafshesechem edrosh. Anytime it's dimchem, the blood, l'nafshesechem, you kill somebody edrosh. Al bidorish. The oven gadol hu ama'abed asmei ladas. It's a big avera if someone kills himself. Because of b'shuvah siraj b'sim v'tavshin samach gimel. The af she'amru b'chamokem emes askim imoam l'chal davar leila inyan kavura v'tachrichim. Even though it says someone who's ma'abed asmei ladas, we don't busy ourselves with him for anything. Leila inyan kavura v'tachrichim amru. It's not been the gay kavura v'tachrichim. That much we do give him. That's what we don't do. Even the Avelim don't do kriya for him. The Tur holds, the Ramban holds that we do rice kriya. And the reason for the Ramban is because the Ramban holds that kriya and avelus is not kvoid hames. It's kvoid hachayim. The reason why a person writes his kriya and sits shiva has nothing to do with the kvoid hames. That's cause of the kvoid hachayim. They lost somebody. So for them it's kvoid hachayim. If you look in the Pischei Tshuva, Sif Aleph, V'loi Kairin. It's a long Pischei Tshuva. I'll go through it quickly. There's a lot of interesting points here in the Pischei Tshuva. V'loi Kairin, Ayin Be'er Mashakasav Al Dasan Ban V'Atorsha Avelim Kairin. Well, the Frize Hu Adin Dim is Ablet Olav. They do Avelus. El She'ein Maspid in Olav. Why is there no Hesped? Because Hesped is definitely Kvoid Ha-Meis. Ayin Be'er Seif which was some seif. Semicha Chavov Shehera Ponim Shadasan Amban Hilchasehi. The Docher Rayas Halacha Mishnah. He says the Ramban is Takalacha Lamaisa, and he knocks off the Rayas of the Halacha Mishnah Sefer Kalf Ma'evil. Halacha Lamaisa Miyarim Roisha Neged Haskamas Abises Shechanach Shesosam Karambam Shegam Shalacha Kedivrei Hamekel Ba'evil Amnam Kamokim Omer and Nihecha the Ikek Kvoid Mishpacha. Then as he says, the Chasam Sefer says, really we should pass on like the Mechaber, who's the Rambam, that is called Kvoid HaMesim, and therefore we don't do it. But he says, Heicha Dike Kvoid Mishpacha, Nechpedes, Asher Yeh Lehem Lavuz, V'Lechlim will be an embarrassment for them, Elomis, She'echad Mehem Kilkel Maisov. If people don't sit Shiva, so everyone's going to say, oh, why isn't this family sitting Shiva? It must be because the person committed suicide. So the family is going to have an embarrassment now. Says the Chasam Sefer, if it's going to cause embarrassment to the family, then they're allowed to sit Shiva, even like the Rambam that holds that's Kvoid HaMeis. Because now it's Kvoid HaChayim. They're going to be embarrassed the whole life if they lost a relative to suicide.
Is there a halakha that or something that they used to say that if it's somebody who was suicides, you don't bury him in Bet HaKvaros, but outside the
yes, 100%. If someone's Abed Das, he's definitely called a Rasha, and Rishon we don't bury in the regular Beis HaKvaros.
I'm assuming though that only applies when someone commits suicide who's of sound mind. Like if they're not of sound mind, then do these halachas still apply?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll get to that soon. What's considered suicide? Abel Miyato Lehem HaMoidelis Abel Ozem Abrius Kamei Abanim B'Milsei V'Nismash L'Hoylei Dim Abed Asman L'Das. Also Yochel HaMoyer L'Hoyles L'Chatchila Ves Abel Afilu Emes L'Sparloi Shehoylei Kol Din Ma'abed Asman L'Das. Now he says, let's skip a little bit here. Here, look at the parentheses in the brackets. It says a kosev oid b'shuvas chasam sefer. See that? The kosev oid b'shuvas chasam sefer. Very important chasam sefer here. The afshem murgul the 8 oimim kaddish acher ham abed asmei ladas. Even though we don't say kaddish, because kaddish is meant for the schus of the mace, so we don't say kaddish from abed asmei ladas. Lo yidati tam hogain. I don't know of a good reason. We don't save him from going down to Gehenna. You're right. He did something wrong. He's ma'abed atzma das, and you don't give him the covet. But kaddish is that he shouldn't go to Gehenna. So just because he did something bad, we're not going to say kaddish for him. Actually, the staff of Haminig lefid the shar avelim lo yanichu lach like imoim bekadeshim. Ki yitanu lav kol kemine lahabet atzmoi lahashlech tikun lishmasa elenu. Ulay haychai kameshanim hayimes bezman acher ebemokem acher. But it used to be that the way Kaddish worked was not everybody said Kaddish. One person said Kaddish. That's the way the halachas are. In halacha, we'll get to it. In halachas Kaddish, kedimas for Kaddish. If you look in even the halachas of chiyuvim, who gets the amud, it never speaks about who gets the amud. It speaks about who has the schus to say Kaddish. Because it used to be that only one person said Kaddish, not the whole shul said Kaddish. And I go to hear a lot of times to the Bayit Minyanim, 95% of the shul is saying Kaddish. The Kaddish was meant for Yechidim. One person said Kaddish. So what happened was, if someone died, he was Ma'abed Atzmei L'das, so now you have to say Kaddish for him. What happens is the other people are saying Kaddish for their parents, they're going to lose Kaddish now. They're going to have to give it over to this person who's saying Kaddish for the Ma'abed Atzmei L'das. And no one wants to give it over to that person. Why? Says Chasam Sefer, because he did it to himself. So we have to go ahead and worry about him now? He killed himself. So therefore they want to give him Kaddish. Today, that everybody says Kaddish, Tzalach is not so Negeya. It's only Negeya for the Amud. If someone's Ma'abed Atzmei L'das and his relative wants to daven for the Amud for him and take away the Amud from somebody else, then we don't give the Amud away. If he's nearly poshed them a ben, Mekabit Hasor beBeisei beOfen she'ein hefsid, Avelim Yochalei Mekadosh v'Yem Kol Yud Beis Chodesh. Oh, then he could say Kaddish. And this is also a very important thing. We all know that we stop saying Kaddish after 11 months. Why do we stop saying Kaddish after 11 months? Why don't we go to full 12 months? Anybody know the reason for that?
We give the schus that he's not in Gehinnom there's not a complete Russia, he's not Gehinnom for 12 months.
Right, so says the Chasam Sofer over here, this Ma'abed Atzmei L'das, if you have your own minion say Kaddish for him, you say Kaddish all 12 months. Because we know he's a Russia. So look in the Chasam Sofer, it says, V'yochalei Mekadosh v'Yem Kol Yud Beis Chodesh, the time of my Ein Oimim Rak Yud Aleph Chodesh, the L'shavia L'Aviv Russia. You don't want to make your father into a Russia. So he's saying Kaddish all 12 months to show that he went to Gehenna. So we stop 11 months after 11 months to show him, no, I'm just doing it for extra credit. But I don't believe that he's a Russia. But Hai Gavra, Shavya Nafshe Rishi, he made himself into a Russia. Then he says, Achloi Mekadosh Beis HaKnesses B'mokim She'eshar Avelim Im Abonim Yodim Ba'atzma Ba'emesh Avim Ab Ibn Atzma L'das. Afilu ein ha'avelim ha'chenim yodim izeh ein oimrim Kaddish. Harayim goizlim es ha'mesim ha'ksherim. He's goizl the mesim ha'ksherim. So basically what he's saying over here is that if somebody's Ma'abed Atzmei L'das and you're taking away Kaddish or the Amid from somebody else, that you can't do. That you're not allowed to do already. Now why are we learning this Chetshuva? It's not so negate to Ma'abed Atzmei L'das. The reason why I'm learning this Pesach Tshuva is because we'll see later on. It's a very touchy subject and a controversial subject. Hopefully we get this till today. In Sfif Hey, this is Sfif Aleph. Ma'abed Atzmei L'das. Then there's no Kvoid Hameis. Kvoid Hachaim there is. There's somebody else in Sfif Hey who also has the same dinim. Sfif Hey talks about a person who is not a Shem Torah mitzvahs. A person who's a Mechal Shabbos for Hesia, a person who wasn't from. The halacha is in Sfif Hey, we get to it later, that there's no Avelis for him, there's no Aninus for him, there's no Kaddish for him, because he didn't care about himself when he was alive, so then we don't have to worry, we don't give him the covet when he dies. And we'll go through exactly that halacha when we get to it. But included in that is going to be, if someone is saying Kaddish for a family member who wasn't from, we'll see exactly what that means, when he gets a din of Tinach Shenishba, when not. For someone who wasn't from, especially somebody who was against religion, let's use it that way now. Otherwise, it's a Pasha. Pasha is somebody who's against religion, and someone wants to say Kaddish for him, and the other person is saying Kaddish for a religious Jew. The halacha is he has kedima for the Amud, just like the Pesach Tshuva says over here by Ma'abed Atzmei L'das. Ma'abed Atzmei L'das, you want to say Kaddish for him? Say Kaddish for him. We're not going to stop you. But if you want to take away the Kaddish from other people, then already you can't do. And the same thing will be with davening for the Amud. I'm going to get to it later on. But we have to remember this Pesach Tshuva. Okay, Sif Beis. Ezehu Ma'abed Atzmei L'das. Who's called person who committed suicide? Kegoin, Sh'omar, he says, Hareyu oila l'roish hagag. I'm going up to the roof. V'ra'u sh'ola miyad derech kas. We see he went up to the roof. He was upset. V'shaya meitzir, or he was kas was upset, or meitzir, he was bothered by something. V'nofal, and he fell umeis. Areza b'cheske she'ibid atzmai ladas. That's called the person who committed suicide. Avler me'u chanuk. V'tola be'ilin. We see somebody hanging from a tree. Or we see him killed and he's leaning on the sword, he's lying on the sword. Him, we don't say he was committed suicide because we don't know exactly what happened. We must ask him, and we treat him like a regular mace. Now, let's look. Let's look in the Shach here. He's going up to the roof. Even though we didn't see him throwing himself off the roof, we assume he did it, the das. He didn't fall by mistake. How about he said, I'm going up to kill myself? Or he didn't see him going up to the roof? We don't rely just on his words. So that's already, has to be that he said he's going to kill himself, and we see him going up to the roof. But we don't know how he fell. That's ma'abed asma l'das. But if we just said it and we didn't see him going up to the roof, then we have no idea what happened, and therefore it's not called ma'abed asma l'das. So now look in the Piskei Tshuva base. Very important Piskei Tshuva. He goes through what's called ma'abed asma l'das. When is it called a person committed suicide? They don't give him all this respect. It says the Piskei Tshuva, I am a Tshuva's Eved Shayam, Siman, the Piskei Tshuva Sifka and Beis. I am a Tshuva's Eved Shayam, Shenishal Be'ish Echad Shalach B'derech HaYashar. He was going in the right path. The Sigif Atzmai B'tainis, or B'tfila, he Sigif Atzmai, he pained himself. He fasted a lot, and he did a lot of tfilis. V'achakach Hibet Atzmai L'das. And then he committed suicide. Which you know is a very dangerous thing. Somebody who goes too much, they crack after a while. They go crazy. I remember when I was in yeshiva in 9th grade, we had this boy in my class, a 9th grade boy, who was very, very frum. And he was Elul. We started yeshiva Elul. And he went ahead and he's davening. He used to cry by davening, and he finished davening. It was time for seder, so he didn't have time to eat breakfast. So what did he do? He bought himself the baby formulas, isomals, and every day he would drink one can of isomol. That was his breakfast. This is what the person was doing for a couple of days, or maybe a week or two in the beginning when I was in yeshiva, and the Manal Yeshiva saw what was going on, and he said, this guy, it's not the right way to do it. So he went over to the Rav Minsker Rebbe, and he told him what was going on. So the Rav Minsker said, no. The guy's going to do this, he's going to crack. So he called the boy in, and he says to him, his name was Tzvi. He says, Tzvi, and I want every day, after Shachris, after you finish davening, you come to my office, and you eat a slice of bread and an egg with me. That's going to be your breakfast every day. No more of this isomals. So he was doing it. How did we find out about it? One day, we're middle of Shir, and the Rebbe comes running into the classroom. He says, Tzvi, where were you today? And he pulled him out and made him eat breakfast with him. If you go too much to one way, it's not good. So you have a guy. This is a true story. Person who was very frum, and he used to fast. He used to go to the mikvah all the time. He committed suicide. The Gufa the Uvda Hava, what was the story? He went to go toivel. He told his wife, Shadara Shama, to live with him. If they're gonna want to know where I am, you'll find me in the mikveh. That's where you'll find me. He went there, he stayed there for a while. But because of the Beisai, they found him dead, full of blood, a knife in his hand, and he cut open his throat. He sharpened the knife, and he said, they found on the wall, written in his ksav yad, that his talmidim should say kaddish after him. If that's called ma'abed atzma ladas, that was the question that was sent to him. They said, no, he's not called ma'abed atzma ladas. They should say regular kaddish and regular kavod for him. Why? We just said, you have to see something. You have to see him going up to the roof. Here they didn't see anything. As long as you don't see him doing it, or at least going up to the roof, it's not good enough. We have no riot that he did it.
A suicide note would have no validity here.
Oh, so it says, I left a note. They say Kaddish. He was scared that he's going to die. He did it because he went crazy. Here's a very important thing. He's not called ma'abed unless he does it b'das salula. Unfortunately, those who are involved in these type of things, some of you probably know better than me, you have people that commit suicide and they leave suicide notes. Is that called ma'abed atzma ladas? Is that called ma'abed atzma ladas? This is the big question that they have today. Unfortunately, you have people they commit suicide, they overdose, they didn't by mistake overdose. They do it b'dafka, they overdose purposely in order to kill themselves. Is that called the ma'abed atzma ladas? So, first thing he says over here is you have to see that he did it. Because if we don't see that he did it, they have no idea what happened b'shas ma'isa. And it could be when he did it, he went crazy beforehand. And once he goes crazy, that's not called ma'abed atzma ladas. If he went crazy beforehand, it's not called ma'abed atzma ladas. One thing. Then he says, V'oy the Shem also came achmash tshuva ayin sham oy tamim. I just want to skip a little bit. Hey, if you skip down a little bit, and this whole thing here, the whole Riches here, he's saying that you have to see that he did it. If you don't see, it's not good enough. Then at the bottom, he says here, look, I am b'tshuvas b'samim roish. You see that? It's towards the end, it's like 4 or 5 lines from the end. It's right after the brackets.
Yeah.
It says over there, I am b'tshuvas b'samim roish. Siman shimem hey. Shekoser be'echad choser lechem. Someone who has no bread. The choser of shas. If choser means he has nothing to wear. Choser means he's chasayv zeraya means it's peeled off. He has nothing. Sheholach b'fnei shnayim. V'omar, and he says, Ma'asti chayai. I had enough. Ma'asti b'chayai. I can't live. I don't have any money. He's depressed. V'ibid atzmoi. Nikra ma'abed atzmoi ladas. Why not? Because kol she'asa kain may ribur tziroisav daigos v'yasurim oyni gomer ayin sham. This b'samim roish basically makes everything today not ma'abed atzmoi ladas. Says if a person is doing it because he has tzaras or because he has no parnasa, says the b'samim roish, that's not called ma'abed atzmoi ladas. V'ayim v'seif har evo. Anaf echad also shapikpik olav azer. Because of the lav gushbanko the rosh chasam alei. You have the seal of the rosh on that. And he says, Gam b'shuvis chasam seif sham kosav the muchach mei achni ben tradin pe kamada by the zalilim by the zona da filu am meitzir b'yosef. Someone has a lot of pain. The kamakoi ma'abed asvel das hu, ubezen is daif seif b'sam rosh. It's not true. The seif b'sam rosh is not true. Ba'ayim b'shuvis b'sefrayim. So here you have a whole shayla, machloikis. If someone commits suicide because he has no money, he has no parnasa, or he's in a lot of pain, is that called ma'abelas meladas or not? So you have a big machloikis. You have the Samim Rosh says yes, and the Shurish Chasam Sefer says it's not. The Samim Rosh says it's not called ma'abelas meladas, and the Chasam Sefer says it is called ma'abelas meladas. So here you have a big shiloh. So when you have this assisted suicide, when a person is dying and you do assisted suicide, according to the Chasam Sefer, there has a din of ma'abelas meladas. Now, if the person is not, doesn't know what's going on, and the family members do it, so that's not the person's fault. The family members are at fault. They have the Isser Ritzicha. But if it's the person himself says he wants it, and he tells them to do it, so then he could be called ma'abelas meladas.
But he's still not doing the Maisa. He's asking somebody else to do it.
Yeah, so that's because he's letting them do it.
DNR, for example, DNR, do not
no, that's something else.
No.
DNR is a whole different thing. DNR is a whole different thing. The person, you're leaving him the way he is, he's going to die. You don't have to do an action to save him. That's a whole different child, DNRs.
That's a Shev al Taisa.
That's a Shev al Taisa. You're not killing him. Here we're talking about assisted suicide is you're killing the person.
You're doing active.
Doing an active thing to kill the person. There's a whole shayla. If you don't give him food, is that called an active thing? Okay, let's leave that aside. But
just
this
for clarification, Rebbe. Today, this medical assisted suicide cannot happen unless the person is very conscious and very much aware. It doesn't apply in a case where a person is already dementia and the family acts on their behalf. We're not there yet.
The family can't do it.
The person has to be completely cognizant and cognitively competent.
Right. So if the person
we're not there yet.
If the person's bedas and the person knows what he's doing, and he says he wants to die, he wants him to kill him, he may have a din of ma'abelas meladas. He may have such a din. It's hard.
Don't we always fall back on this idea of nichnas by ruach shtus or something that?
No, you can't always say nichnas by ruach shtus. You can't always say that. What's nichnas by ruach shtus? He knows exactly what's going on. Unfortunately today,
like a second before, there's something about a second before he would have been nimlach bedato or something like that.
No, but he prepared it beforehand. These are serious questions. We can't take them lightly. Unfortunately, in the Goyish world, someone could kill somebody, and they could claim insanity, and he's parted from his meisim. We don't work that way. A person kills somebody, you can't just claim insanity, and then you're parted. You have to see if the person was there's something wrong with him. Insanity means he goes meshugah for something. And not just that, here, even the Samim Rosh that says if a person has tsaras and he goes ahead and he commits suicide, it's not stamazay depression. It's not stamazay depression. He has no parnasa. There's a reason why he's depressed. So there, the Samim Rosh says maybe he's not called ma'abelas meladas. But stamazay a person who has whatever they need, but they're depressed because they're not happy with life. I don't know if that even the Samim Rosh is masking that it's not called ma'abelas meladas. Then there's never a case of suicide. You never have ma'abelas meladas.
We've talked about it to Chas v'Chalila in the camps in the Holocaust. According to the Chatam Sofer,
no, that's a whole different child. That was seen later on.
I'm saying according to the Chatam Sofer, there's no excuse basically.
No. So we'll see in a second. We'll see in a second in Sfif Gimel. If you look at Sfif Gimel a second, right? Katan hama'abel asmel das, choshu shloil das. It's called shloil das. V'chein gadol hama'abel asmel das. Who onus kishol hamelech Ein moine mimenu kol davar. He's a oinus like Shalom Melech. Why? Zogt the Shach. We have to see the Shach. Hey, we have to go back to it still. Zogt the Shach. Shalom Melech. Shahoregas atzmoy lefisha ra. Shapalishtim yasaboy kirtzoyna v'yarguhu. He knew the Plishtim are going to kill him. So, and they're going to torture him beforehand. So he killed himself. That's a different case. That's a different case. A person knows he's going to get killed anyway, but he's going to get killed in a painful way. That's the halacha here. He killed himself before, and it's not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. Whether he should do it or he shouldn't do it is a whole different shiloh. I think the tour brings down somewhere. Is it here? I don't think it's here. The whole meister with it, he's having the kinnis that there was there's a whole shiloh, which is included in this ma'abed atzmei ladas. If you know, the whole meister with Chana, Shiva Banel, after they killed Chana's 7 children, she went up to the roof and she jumped. She's ma'abed atzmei ladas. So they say that she's not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. Why? Because she knew that she wouldn't be able to withstand, to withhold the temptations, the pressure to bow down to Avodah Zarah, and they were going to torture her, and she was end up bowing down to Avodah Zarah. Bowing down to Avodah Zarah is one of the Yarek Val Yavars, so she jumped before that, not to be over. So there's a whole question: if someone kills themselves in order not to be over one of the Gimel Ve'eretz Chamuris, that's not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. Or if you know someone's sure going to kill you, but they're going to kill you in a painful way, it's not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. Right? Those people who are in the World Trade Centers, right? On 9/11, and they jumped out, they killed themselves. Not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. They knew they were going to die anyway. The question was in a painful way or not. That's not called. That's this halacha gimel. It's not called ma'abed atzmei ladas. We're talking about here in the Pischei Tshuva. He's talking about a different case. Someone who doesn't have parnasa. Someone has a hard life. So then, such a person, the Psalm Rosh says, is not called ma'abed atzmei ladas, and the Sfif says he is called ma'abed atzmei ladas. That's the machlokes. But somebody who has what he needs, just simply depressed because they can't find anything to do in life, that's called ma'abed atzmei ladas, even according to the Psalm Rosh. It's a nebuch on the person that they can't be happy with Torah mitzvahs, but I don't know if that's called that's a Torah ma'abed atzmei ladas. Okay, let's just finish up here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confused. The story of Rabbi Hanani ben Tradion, would the Chassam Sofer say that he was ma'abed atzmei ladas? I'm not sure I understand what he's
saying he is. The Gemara says it over there. The Gemara calls him ma'abed atzmei ladas over there. Right? Even though he was with Steyer Harbe.
But we just finished saying now, if I understood correctly, we said a person in World Trade Center, all the examples.
No, that's something else. No, that's because he knew he was going to die anyway.
All of these examples seems like sure death, and it's a question of whether it's going to be pain or not. Would seem to be like that would be Reb Hanan ben Tradion also.
No, Chaim wasn't for sure going to die.
Yeah, he was already burning at the thing. He only asked the executioner.
Ben Tradion? Of course.
He was. He was. Yeah, the truth is, he was.
No, he had this. He said that they should take away the sponges.
The sponge. Yeah, so she died quicker.
And then the
she died quicker.
Jumped in.
Usually,
quicker, yeah.
most of the mefarshim on that Gemara try to show that he was not ma'abed atzmei ladas. He falls into the category of someone like of Shaul or someone
You're right. You're right. He should be like Shaul. He knew he was going to die anyway.
Correct, and that's
going to die anyway.
Like they usually talk about the classic, people who committed suicide, Chana, Shaul, all the. But
all the people that
I don't understand the Chassam Sofer now. I don't understand the Chassam Sofer, what he's saying. Now he seems to be saying the opposite.
All the people that jumped at Masada also.
Masada, right. There's classic examples given in all the suicides. Right. And there's a reason for all of them. But
they're not called ma'abed atzmei ladas.
Right, but I don't understand. So that's why I'm asking. I don't understand the Chassam Sofer here.
I hear your question. I have to check out the Chassam Sofer. What's this raya from Chaim ben Tradion? I don't know. Here, I have to check it out. I have to check out the Chassam Sofer what his raya is.
Okay.
Yeah. Here. The Chaim held the same case as Sif Gimel.
Correct.
Shaul.
Right.
Shaul knew he was going to get killed.
Correct.
And he killed himself. Yeah, I hear.
More so because he was already burning at this
Right.
Accelerated the Misa.
Yeah.
I hear. I'm not sure. I hear.
Because this, of course, opens up a lot of opportunities. But I mean, we know we poskim that made is all of the poskim have said it's usher. But this would be a tremendous, if someone uses this idea that's that.
Oh no one's saying it's mutter to do it.
Of course not.
Even someone Reish didn't say it's mutter to do it.
It's not ma'abed asmalat.
It's not ma'abed asmalat. You don't give him the covered.
Right.
Yeah. You can't take it as mutter.
It's a good point. It's not mutter, but it's not going to be ma'abed asmalat.
It's not the chomer that ma'abed asmalat. You don't give him the covered. La'achar misasai.
Right.
I have to take a check of the Chassam Sofer. Okay, I'll check out the Chassam Sofer, then I'll get back to you. What's his right? But he definitely says that if someone commits suicide mitzad the tzoris, he's still called him ma'abed asmalat das. Okay.
How does he learn Shaul? Who knows?
Yeah, how does he learn Shaul? Right, that's the question. No, Shaul's different. Shaul, he knew he was going to get killed. The question is, the Chaim Triton also knew he was going to get killed.
Right, no. So how does he learn Shaul though? I mean, if he learns Rav,
it could be
differently than Shaul. Question is how.
So it could be So it could be. I'm just checking the Chassam Sofer. It could be where his raya is. Chassam Sofer's raya is that by the Chananim and Tradim they're trying to ask, why isn't he ma'abed asmalat das? And it could be they give this teretz like Shaul. They knew he was going to die anyway. But if you hold someone who has his surim is not called ma'abed asmalat das, so then what's the kasha b'chafim b'char b'tradin? Could be that's what he says. Let's check out the Chassam Sofer. It could be the Chassam Sofer's raya is that why they were trying to bother by Bechlal, why b'char b'tradin was ma'abed asmalat das. He had his surim.
Yeah.
And they had to come out to other terutzim. Why did they say very simple? Because he had the surim. So you see, for me, his surim is not enough unless you know for sure that you're going to die. Okay, I'll check out the Chassam Sofer.
The other question, Rebbe, is like you use the example of the 9/11 and jumping out. I mean, we also have a Gemara that says if you cherev mutal al roshoi, you shouldn't give up hope. In other words, you have to hope. I don't know how far you take that, but right to the last second, you have to be talking. There's going to be a.
You have to be talking, yeah. But if someone's in pain and they know they see they're dying. Yeah, I hear you, Kasher, Ashkofa. I hear Ashkofa, Shaila.
Yeah.
You want to know if someone should jump off or not.
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Right.
That's Ashkofa thing. Maybe you shouldn't. Altas Yayish. But if he does, you can't call him ma'abed asmalat das.
Yeah. No, it was more of a Ashkofa type of question.
Yeah. Come on, Ashkofa, Shaila. What if they did the right thing? Come on, they didn't do the right thing. You wonder if Shaul did the right thing? Maybe Shaul didn't do the right thing. Maybe Altas Yayish min aproniyos. But it's not called ma'abed asmalat das. There's a fine line between ma'abed asmalat das and if it's the right thing to do or not. Even though you're not in the category of ma'abed asmalat das, it doesn't mean it's something that you should do.
Sure.
Okay, it's way after 10 o'clock. Okay, next week, there's a remor here, and Sif Beis we didn't do yet. There's a shach here, and that's going to lead us into Sif Hey. Sif Hey is an important Sif. And then we'll go back. I hope to the Shem Avav, Shem Zayin. We're going to start moving here a little bit. Okay. We'll see you next week, everybody. Say.
Okay.
And I'll try to check out the Chassam Sofer.
Go ahead.